Think about a gambler who has played the same opponent for years. He knows every tell, every habit, the exact way you blink right before you fold. Then one night you push your chair back, leave your cards on the table, and walk out of the casino. To you, the game is finished. You feel free, but here is what almost nobody sees. The gambler is not angry, and he is not chasing you down the street. He is smiling to himself because he does not believe you left. He believes you are bluffing. He believes you are standing just outside the door, counting under your breath, waiting for him to run after you. When you go no contact with a manipulator, this is exactly what is happening behind your back. They do not read your silence as a goodbye. They read it as a move. And they have spent years learning how to answer every move you make. So they sit back, calm, patient, almost amused, and they wait for the clock inside their head to hit zero. Here is a cold truth most people never hear. Most attempts at no contact fail. Not because the person leaving is weak, but because they never realized the game was still running long after they walked out of the room. Today we are going to open up that clock and look at every gear inside it. And the first hard truth is this: your silence is never quiet to them. It is the loudest signal you have ever sent. Manipulation runs on one fuel, and that fuel is predictability. The moment you went silent, you thought you drew a line. You blocked the number, muted the accounts, deleted the threads, closed the door. In your mind, the boundary was clear, final, carved in stone. But to a person who controls others for a living, your boundary is not stone. It is a suggestion written in sand, waiting for the right wave. And this is where their mind goes to work immediately. They do not panic. Panic is for people who feel loss. Instead, they open a folder inside their head called you, and they pull up years of stored data. They remember every fight you walked away from and came back from. They remember every time you said this is over and meant it for about 6 days. They remember the apologies, the tears, the pleading, the exact sound of your voice cracking when you begged them to change. They have watched you for a very long time, and they have built a model of you that is disturbingly accurate. So when your silence begins, they do not experience it the way you do. You feel relief, grief, fear, hope, a messy storm of real feelings. They feel something far colder, a schedule. They know statistically how long you usually last. And right now, this very moment, they are running the numbers on you, asking themselves one quiet question: how many days before you crack? And here is the part that stings. They usually have a very good answer. Let us walk through the first phase because it surprises almost everyone. The first phase is calm, complete, controlled, tactical calm. When you go quiet, the manipulator does not chase you. People expect a fight, angry calls, dramatic messages, desperate pleas. Instead, they get radio silence, and that silence feels almost insulting. But it is not indifference. It is strategy. Chasing you would mean admitting that your leaving has weight, that your absence actually hurts them, that you matter enough to run after. Their pride cannot survive that, so they do nothing on purpose. They go about their life, let the silence stretch, and watch what it does to you. Because here is what they know that you do not. Your brain is wired to finish unfinished stories. A relationship that ends without a final scene is torture to a normal mind. You will replay conversations, check your phone, reread old messages, imagine what they are doing and who they are with. Every one of those behaviors tells their model exactly where your head is. In their mind, your silence is not a boundary. It is a negotiation. It is a game of chicken, and they have played chicken many times, and they have never blinked first. They expect you to break. They know you are sitting on your hands right now, fighting the urge to text them. And the second you do, the score does not change. In their records, it stays exactly what it always was. They were right, and you came back. Now we get to the timer. Every manipulator runs an invisible countdown inside their head, and that countdown is built entirely out of your history. If you usually broke after 3 days of silence, the timer is set to 72 hours. If you usually made it 2 weeks, the timer says 14 days. They have timed your breaking point with scary accuracy, and they are fully prepared to sit back and wait it out. During this phase, they will not call, they will not text. They will give you absolutely nothing to hold on to because they want the emptiness to do their work for them. They understand something that sounds almost cruel. Your brain runs on chemical rewards. The highs and lows of that relationship kept you hooked. And when the source vanishes, your chemistry crashes. You feel flat, anxious, hollow. You start to miss them even though they hurt you. That is not love, that is withdrawal, and they know the difference better than you do. So they wait, calm, certain, maybe counting the days for their own amusement. They believe every human being has a breaking point, and they are betting everything on yours. They expect your anxiety to climb, your loneliness to swell, your doubt to whisper that maybe you were the problem all along. They expect the quiet to become unbearable, and for many people it does. But here is what they do not expect. The day their timer hits zero and you are still silent, that moment changes everything, and most manipulators are not ready for it. When the timer runs out and you do not return, something shifts inside them. And this is the moment most people misunderstand. They do not start to grieve. They do not suddenly realize they lost you. They do not fall apart with regret, because regret requires the ability to love. And that is not the machinery they run on. Instead, their certainty breaks, and what rushes in is not sadness, but a system error. They experience your continued silence as a malfunction. Something in their world is not behaving the way their model predicted. And models hate surprises, so they switch from waiting mode to investigation mode. They need to know with certainty whether you are truly gone or whether you are just holding your breath, waiting for a specific move. And this is where the probing begins. But do not expect a dramatic confrontation, because that would put them at risk. They probe from a safe distance, always, with small, careful tests designed to look natural, accidental, harmless. They will not walk up to your front door and demand answers. They will stand across the street and toss a pebble at your window, then hide and watch what your hand does when the glass taps. The question they are trying to answer is simple. Is your boundary solid, or does it still have a crack they can widen? Stay with me here, because this next part is where most people accidentally show them the crack. Here is what a probe looks like in real life, because it rarely comes dressed as an attack. It comes dressed as a mistake, a text that was apparently meant for someone else, a message sent to the wrong person by accident, a sudden question about an unpaid bill, a casual reminder that you left something at their place, a photo posted that just happens to include the place where the two of you first met. Every one of these is a test, and every one of them is cheap to send and safe for them, because if you do not answer, they can shrug and say it was nothing. But if you do answer, even with something short and cold, even with the words "do not contact me again," their system logs a hit. They do not hear rejection in your reply. They hear connection. They hear proof that your wall still has a door that can be opened, that somewhere inside you the switch still works, that they just need the right voltage. And here is the brutal math. To a manipulator, negative attention still counts as attention. Anger still counts as engagement. A fight still means the game is alive. The only response that means nothing to them is no response at all. But most people do not know that yet, so they answer and they think they are being strong by being angry. They think they won because they told the narcissist off in one perfect paragraph. They do not realize they just fed the exact data point the whole investigation was built to find. When the gentle probes fail, the tests escalate, but they stay sneaky. Now they aim at your weak spots. They know exactly which buttons you have because they installed a few of them themselves. They will post something cryptic on social media, something only you would understand, a line from a private moment, a reference to a shared pain, a picture that hits you in the chest. It is bait, engineered to reach the part of your brain that does not think. It is aimed at guilt, pity, nostalgia, anger, whatever frequency your nervous system answers on. They are not posting for their audience. They are posting for one specific follower, and they know you are watching. They expect the urge to respond to become unbearable. They expect you to slide into their messages with a paragraph asking what they mean, asking why they are doing this, asking how you could mean so little to them. And listen closely, because this is the trap. They do not want a kind reply. They do not even want a hostile reply. They just want a reply. One word is enough. One question mark is enough. Because a reply is proof, and proof is what the whole machine runs on. Your brain, meanwhile, is screaming for closure. You see an open loop and your mind wants to close it. That is human, and it is normal, and it is exactly what they are counting on. So they keep leaving loops open around you, half-finished stories, unanswered questions, little provocations, waiting for your brain to do what brains do and reach for the missing piece. And then there are the messengers. You will recognize them when they come because they will arrive with kind faces and soft words. A mutual friend who just wants to check in. A family member who happens to ask how you are doing. An acquaintance who mentions they saw something that made them think of you. On the surface, nothing is wrong. Under the surface, everything is wrong. These people have been told a story, a prepared story, a story that makes them worried about you. And they have been sent to you like censors. They are not there to help you. They are there to measure you. They will report back on whether you seem broken or fine, whether you are moving on or falling apart, whether there is still an opening that can be used. You cannot always tell who has been recruited. And that is the worst part, because it makes you paranoid about everyone. But here is what you need to understand. The messengers are tools, not enemies. They are walking thermometers, taking your temperature and bringing it back to headquarters. The manipulator is waiting by the radio for one piece of good news, one small sign that the silence is costing you more than it is costing them. They are not looking for a victory speech. They are looking for a weakness. So when a well-meaning person asks how you are holding up, choose your answer like you are choosing a password, because whatever you say somewhere is being logged. Now we reach the phase nobody warns you about, and it is the one that breaks most people. When every probe fails, when the messengers come back empty-handed, when your silence becomes truly absolute, the manipulator finally accepts that they have lost direct access to you. This is where a healthy person would feel remorse. They do not. What they feel instead is panic about their image, because the thing they actually depend on is not you. It is the story. Their whole life is a stage. Every person in their circle is an audience, and you are now a loose thread in the story they have been telling. So they move fast before you can say a single word. They start the campaign. They tell friends, family, coworker, anyone who will listen, that they had to cut you off, that you became too much, that they walked away for their own safety and sanity. They rewrite the relationship in real time, and in the new version, they are never the villain. They are either the wounded victim who bravely ended things, or the heroic rescuer who tried everything and finally had to save themselves from you. And the story works because they tell it first. By the time you hear about it, the baseline is already set, and anything you say later sounds like a desperate lie from the unstable ex. This is a smear campaign, and it does two jobs at once. It protects their mask, and it baits you into breaking your silence to defend yourself. This brings us to their ultimate expectation, and it is a devastating one. They expect you to defend yourself. They expect that when you hear what they are saying about you, the injustice will burn so hot that you will break no contact just to set the record straight. That is the masterpiece of the manipulation, because they win either way. If you stay silent, they control the story, and everyone believes them. If you break silence to fight back, they point at your outburst and say, "Look, this is exactly what I was talking about. See how unstable they are?" Your anger becomes their evidence. Your need for justice becomes their proof. And no matter how well you argue, you cannot win a trial that was rigged before you even knew it existed. So do not send the letter. Do not write the long message explaining how much they hurt you, hoping that this time they will finally understand. They will not understand it. They will file it. Your pain will not touch them. It will only teach them. The same goes for the message that says, "Leave me alone, I am done, never speak to me again." In your mind, that is a final statement. In their mind, it is an update, a confirmation that you are still plugged in, still reacting, still counting their moves to their system. Any contact at all, no matter how cold, is compliance. And they have waited weeks for exactly that. Their deepest belief, the one they never let go of, is that nothing you do is ever truly final. They are convinced you do not really want silence, that you are simply holding out for something, an apology, an acknowledgement, a punishment, a grand gesture, and that if they find the right lever, you will crack. So they rotate the levers: guilt, pity, anger, nostalgia, fear, hope. They will try charm if they think you miss the good times. They will try cruelty if they think you respond to shock. And when one lever fails, they simply test the next one. Because giving up is not a move they carry. They will go quiet again to make you curious. then reappear to make you dizzy. If the first deadline fails, they simply set a new one, because their whole model is built on the idea that no one can hold out forever. They believe your silence is a clock winding down, not a door closing. They believe your strength is a bluff, not a fortress.